Hey, what's happening? It's Bill Smith. Today's a big day in the Q world. We got some drops coming last night or early this morning talking about MKUltra and the latest school shooting, how it really ties in. Now, there's a ton of material here, so I'm going to try to just keep this a short overview, and I'm going to give you some links so that you can go look at some stuff on your own if you'd like. It's a deep conversation to have. It's been going on since the 1950s. And we're going to talk about the Q-Post real quick. Q-Post 768 gives us a link to go check out. It's a PDF about the MKUltra hearings back in 1976, I think. It says read it carefully. I've done part of that. I'll share some highlights with you here in a second. It says it's unreleased, classified at the highest levels. Well, no kidding. Talks about the ability to use frequencies, incoming signals to modify code and program over a period of time to designate mobile phone to control target subject. Operations conducted, they originated outside of the United States. Car control, we're going to talk about that here in a second. Gives us a YouTube video, statement by the driver, is this a fairy tale? As the world turns, this is bigger than anyone can imagine. This is some Jason Bourne stuff, man. Like that's where we're at with this. It's pretty essentially crazy. Follow-up Q-Post 769. He's responding to something. It says MKUltra was a success and went into implementation. It is just no longer called MKUltra. That was the development program name. So the response to that is, why is Big Pharma essential? Expand your thinking past the cures. Think Google, their new Pixel phone. So I think Pixel 2 is out on the market yet. Looks like an outstanding phone, people. I mean, I kind of wanted one, not now. And then think Apple versus Samsung. Now, I use Samsung phones and have since the beginning, and I don't know why. I had an Apple phone to begin with. I tried iPhones. I had issues with them. I don't really enjoy the company. So I've been using Samsung phones or kind of off-burner phones. Why was BlackBerry destroyed? Well, okay, just taking these statements in key here. I think Google and Apple are in on it. All right, they have their phones made over in China. And Trump has made a big deal about trying to get Apple to come back over and make their phones in the United States. And I've seen mixed reports about whether or not they're doing that. Looks like they are. Looks like they're going to start manufacturing phones in the United States. So maybe what happened here, this is a maybe. Maybe what happened was Trump, General Flynn, everybody in control, the military, knows this stuff was happening. Okay, this bad tech, this tech that could destroy your mind was being made over in China. And that's the reason why they're able to get away with it. If it was made here in the United States, they'd probably be under some kind of FDA review, I would imagine. There's been reports come out in the last few weeks talking about how cell phone radiation still causes cancer. California has declassified some stuff, and those declassified papers at the California state level say you don't want to have a cell phone within arm's distance of you. Don't hold it up to your head if possible. Use headphones. Don't keep it in your pocket if possible. So if you're leaving your phone by your bed, you should put it across the room. Don't put it next to your head while you're asleep. That's 8 hours of sleeping next to these things. So back to the Q stuff. So top of that point right there says, why is Big Pharma essential? Now, I think this has to do with these psychotropic drugs. We're going to flip over to something right now. And there's a common thread from all these school shooters. Okay, they're all weak-minded. Maybe not weak-minded, but just in a bad spot psychiatrically. There's been 36 school shooters and shootings, school-related violence, committed by those under influence of psychiatric drugs. Now, those SSRIs, every single school shooter is on these SSRIs. They're just bad news. Okay, so the guy that just shot up the school in Florida yesterday, this is him. He's no one knows what his cultural background is. They're trying to call him a white supremacist. That was a false fake news story. They also tried on Twitter. I think I even reposted something that said he was Antifa, and that's not true. So let me just clarify that. That was a fake news story. So these things come from every which way, but they're saying he's autistic, may have been on medication. I bet he was. But this is the kicker right here. Florida gunman says demon voices told him how to pull off school shooting, and police reveal they were called out 39 times to his family home before his mother died last year. Now, this is a cover-up. There's no way police get called out 39 times. Okay, he was making death threats on YouTube. Here's an article right now talking about it. Okay, his username was his actual name, Nicholas Cruz, and he actually posted this, in quotes, "I am going to be a professional school shooter." And he posted it on a guy's YouTube channel. A bail bondsman in Mississippi spotted it. Okay, so a bail bondsman in Mississippi had a YouTube channel, and this was posted on there. That's it right there. Okay, the cops are called out to his house 39 times. He's on YouTube on a bail bondsman's YouTube channel, says he's going to be a professional school shooter. And law enforcement says the tip wasn't a strong lead. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And this is the whole, I mean, they're running cover. It looks like local law enforcement is actually being called off of some of these people that it looks like the CIA or some other government institution is enforcing mind control on to go shoot these schools up. Now, kids get bullied all the time, right? Okay, we've all been to high school. Most of us has been bullied at one point in time. You know, I've seen kids just get absolutely wrecked. And they've, you know, when I was a kid, it just never happened. The Columbine shooting was the major marker. And it didn't occur until April 20th, 1999. Now, some of you are too young maybe to remember this. Some of you know what it was like to not have cell phones. But do you remember how many people had cell phones in 1999? Not many. In 1999, cell phones were brand new to the masses. They had been out for a couple of years, but not a lot of people had them. So right around this time, you know, we start getting these high school massacres. We get the psychotropic drugs designed to really open these kids up to this stuff, and then we get the cell phone technology to basically implant them with these mind control stuff. So again, you know, here's this right here. These demon voices telling him how to pull off a school shooting. And this isn't the other one. I could pull up 1,000 articles that I've seen over the last couple of years talking about people hearing voices in their head. Okay, here, let me pull one up for you real quick. Now, this isn't what I was looking for. Okay, I tried to look for a couple news articles to show you, but I've been reading about this for several years. There was this is just a good example of something that I think is kind of shady, little shaky, may not always be a sign of mental illness or needing to treat with medication. Okay, the enemy within, people who hear voices in their heads are being encouraged to talk back. You know, I don't know, independent. I don't know if that's really a good idea. This is a couple years ago, and the opening paragraph, okay, during this woman's first year at the University of Sheffield, okay, so she's on a college campus, right? Rachel struggled to fall asleep. She could hear three middle-aged men she didn't know talking about her downstairs. They were saying, "She's stupid, she's ugly, I wish she would kill herself." I was angry and I went down to challenge them, but no one was there. They kept laughing and saying, "She'll never find us." I think this is leading. Okay, I think this is related. It might not be. Okay, but if you have a cell phone, all right, and they can implant these thoughts into your head, and then they can use SSRIs to somehow open you up to this a little bit more, and then you're on SSRIs to begin with because you're already a little emotionally fragile, dude, that's a ticking time bomb. People go shoot up schools now because of this. And the whole purpose of this is to take away your guns, because no one wants dead kids. But more than dead kids, I don't want a dead country. So it's important to be logical about this. Giving up your guns is not going to get the guns out of the hands of the rest of the world. There's something like 400 million guns in this country. They will be there for a long time. I don't think it's legal to have grenades in Sweden, but they're having grenade attacks over in Sweden right now, and, you know, outlawing grenades isn't going to solve the problem, so something else needs to be done about this. So just real quick, I'll try to get through this. This is the link to the video that he provides, and it's pretty incredible, really. This is the part right here that we're going to focus on. I'm going to mute it, but this is a presidential motorcade, and watch this. Right here, you're going to see something crazy. Okay, so that's the presidential motorcade. Okay, these bikes are clearing the path for him. I'll leave a link to this here in the description so you can go watch this. But here comes, the president's about ready to come down this road, okay? Watch over here on the woods. Watch the woods. Look at that. Look at that. It literally, that car literally comes out of the woods. And then the cops swarm it. Now, I haven't gone and looked at the driver's statement yet, but there's been multiple of these. I read about a lawmaker who out of nowhere grabbed the wheel and yanked it to the left into a tree. I'll try to dig that article up. A lot of this stuff gets buried in the news. I haven't done a good job of bookmarking this stuff. I lost a bunch of my bookmarks when I had to rebuild my machine. But this is real, so I encourage you to do your own research and you know, add to this conversation as much as possible. We're going to go look at this PDF right now. So the Senate Gov hearings, and I'm going to point out some very interesting things just on page 7. So this is the PDF it points to. This is Senate testimony. Okay, so this is testimony on Project MKUltra, the CIA's program of research in behavioral modification. And this was back in 1977, people. 1977. Think about that. Before I was born. This predated everything. This predated SSRI drugs. It predated cell phone technology. I'm speechless. Now, one thing that stands out on this is they willingly say, hey, look, we didn't really take very good notes, but they sure as heck got a lot of notes on this stuff. And this stands out to me. Subproject 54, and this one right here, drug testing in foreign countries. I don't have a chance to go into this in this video, so I suggest you come check this stuff out on your own. So, top of page 7, right there. Now, this is the CIA director's statements to the Senate committee, and it says there was covert testing on unwitting U.S. citizens. They had special arrangements with specialists in universities, pharmaceutical houses, hospitals, as well as state and federal institutions and private research organizations. And the fact that Technical Service Division of CIA had initiated 144 sub-projects related to the control of human behavior. And that's just between 1953 and 1963. That's in 10 years. And this occurs right after Project Paperclip. Okay, so we get the end of the war in the late 40s, okay, and then the programs are set up, and then lo and behold, you know, less than 8 years later, we are actually doing this stuff. And it looks like they're being effective at it. What else is in here that stood out? The institution included 44 colleges or universities, 15 research foundations, or chemical and pharmaceutical companies, and the like, 12 hospitals or clinics, in addition to those who are associated with universities, and 3 penal institutions. And it goes on to talk about how they were illegally testing against their will on psychiatric patients, so people who already had mental conditions that were uncontrollable. This is a lot to get into one video. I hope you found this informative. Please like and share. I'll leave the links in the description so you can go read this material yourself. Till next time, this is Bill Smith. Thanks for watching.